Whoever said that sport is just a game could not have been more wrong. It's a way of life for billions of people. It is engraved in the traditions of almost every culture. But to me, it is my identity and something that sets me apart from the rest. Sport has helped, is helping, and will continue to help me to strive to be the best of the best. Power. The word elite, a definition, a group of people or person considered to be the best in a particular society or category due to their power or talent. As we can see with Dwight Howard, he is elite. He's better than many other people at what he does. But this word doesn't just make someone great, it sets them apart from others. It is the grouping of humans. It may seem unfair to others, but due to its supreme exclusivity, it gives power and status to the special few people who can grasp it. Here we have the example of the jocks, the cool tough guys, the feared and respected people. All this just down to the fact that they're stronger, faster and more elite than others. But is the worship of this subculture false? Surely they are envied, therefore they must also be hated. People do love celebrities, and jocks are like celebrities in schools. They're worshipped and idolised, and cheerleaders are an example of this love within sport. As we can see, they are a part of sporting culture, appearing at most major sporting events, for instance IPL and the Super Bowl. This tradition seems to come from our American friends across the pond. For them, sports define their culture and society. Sports celebrities are portrayed to be like gods. They have an aura about them which screams out that they are superhuman. For me, being talented at sports is better than being talented at something else. This is because society loves sportsmen. Our society loves sports. For example, the 2010 World Cup, when businesses and schools stopped so England could play Slovenia, all to watch 90 minutes of a frankly boring game. Even with Wimbledon, we long for a British champion. Shame we haven't had one in a while. We have all heard the phrase, with power comes responsibility, and a lot of power is given to the few sportsmen and women lucky enough to be on top of their game. And we need to aspire to be something, so we need role models. This is my criteria for a good role model. Self-control, respect and down-to-earthness. They have to control themselves under intense pressure, they have to respect themselves, the game and others, and they have to be down-to-earth so I can relate with them. In this last video we can see Johnny Wilkinson showing all three of these skills to win the World Cup for England in 2003. He went down as a hero, just down to his ability to fine-tune himself. All of this is down to his ability to be a good role model. Identity. Here I have a montage of myself playing sport. Whether it is in my garden, at school or at my club, I always take up a large part of my week doing sport. I've always been part of teams, and this gives me something that I can take into later life. Here is the athletics team. It's just an example of one team that has given me skills such as teamwork and leadership. Johnny Wilkinson. This poster is on my wall. It reminds me every day of the 2003 World Cup. I aspire to be like him, therefore he is a part of who I am. And on screen now is the rugby team. Spirits were high after winning our last game together. For 5 years this team has been my brand, a rugby lad. The coaches and players have influenced my outlook on the sport and on myself, and has determined which group I fit into, and therefore who my friends are. According to Rogers, the gap between self-image and ideal self is self-esteem, and sport does give me a lot of self-esteem. The ability to be good at sport means that people can recognise this in me, and people can praise me when I do something good. This is good for my self-esteem, and this has been given to me by sport. I interviewed a few people at school asking them why sport has influenced them and why it defines who they are. We'll have a look at some of their responses.
So how does your role as the basketball captain define you as a sportsman and as a person in society?
Well, it's quite good because I get lots of responsibility, and you know, it's actually made me more, given me more organisation skills, but there's a lot of pressure on me to do well and score lots of baskets and be a great player.
So Gabby, how does sport define you?
Sport kind of expresses my personality. I'm quite confident, and that kind of portrays through sport, and I'm also quite a good team player as well, and I'm also quite bossy, so I like doing that.
So you're the captain of various school teams and clubs. How does this define you further?
As you said before, kind of shows that I'm a good leader. I'm quite organised as well. I think it's a passive kind of representation of my personality, some of the traits that I have.
How does sport define you?
Sport defines me through the opportunities it's afforded me, the places I've travelled, the friends I've made, and the morals that I've picked up, the way I live my life, the lessons that I learn, both on and therefore off the pitch.
Sport has even influenced me further, as due to my intense exposure within sport, I now want a career in sports journalism. After all, the popularity of sports and media is shown as sports command the biggest television audiences worldwide. In England, a lot of our culture is revolved around sport. World Cup parties are held where families meet up to watch sports games. Laws and schemes are passed by the government to ensure the future of English sport. The government spends approximately £7 billion a year on sports-related things. Sport does define households and people. Entire families can be shaped by a club or team. The mentality within sport and sports cultures has been present for thousands of years, with Aztecs, Romans and Greeks all involving themselves within sport for leisure and competition, the latter creating what we know as the Olympics. And it seems that as long as there are humans, there will be competition. There will be the need to be more elite than the next person. I am defined through my sporting ability. It gives me power and representation. Although I can never be as good as these guys, I really do aspire to be like them. They are my role models. They are who I look at and say, I can do that. They're the people who make me get up early and train harder and push myself to my absolute limits to become the best. People such as the ones on screen now have made me more determined, more motivated. They have made me efficient in areas of my life, and this is part of my identity now. It's how I'm recognised. People see these areas of my personality, and I can say that sport has given me these personality traits. Occasionally I will fail, occasionally I will miss a shot, but sport has given me areas of my personality and areas of my identity that will make me push past it. For instance, my will has been improved by sport, and my sheer determination to do better. Raymond Williams said that culture is ordinary, not just art, it's everyday things. For me, everyday things is sport, and sport is ordinary for me. Therefore, this is my culture. Sport gives me power and identity. Power in the form of being and having role models, and identity as the things that happen on and off the pitch to do with sport shape me as a person, and will lay out a path for me to take for the remainder of my life.